and all that good stuff. And check us out every Friday night, 8 p.m. It's Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Before we jump into today's episode of the Eastern Conference pro basketball discussion, I want to give a shout out to CJ Rush. It's TRP TV LKS TV. CJ Rush, y'all go check him out, man. Hit up their YouTube page. You got a good little show going on over there. I want to shout my man out. Big love, big love, big love. So we got Doc, the Juice Man, and the king of everything. Big Kofi is back joining us. If you can remember earlier during the call, he dropped the Ronnie Lott commentary on one of the hardest hitting linebackers of all time. So
of all time. of all time. That's right. That's right.
Ronnie Lott didn't even play linebacker, but
that's okay. But respect my boy Ronnie Lott.
he played linebacker that day. So hey, we got to have, hey, when somebody do something like that, man, you got to try to get him on as much as possible, man. He's
absolutely.
The man said what he said, and he said, "Hey, man, if I peep up, then
it is
I'm a little good going."
That's right.
How's it going, fellas? How's it going, fellas? Juice, Big Kofi, how's it going, man?
Doing well, man. Glad to be on the show, man.
Doing great. Glad to be here as well.
Yes, sir. But like I said, this week we're gonna jump right on into it, man. Eastern Conference National Basketball Association discussion. Got a panel, a couple of good friends of mine, and the kinfolk, Big Kofi. That East is looking kind of tough. Well, we got Miami sitting at the top. I'm impressed with Miami. What's y'all thoughts on that East? How's it looking? What's shaking?
Man, the Eastern Conference is just so wide open this year. I mean, I can make a case that there are about 4, maybe 5 teams that can win it all. So I was looking at the play-in tournament bracket, and so 10 seed Charlotte is going to play Atlanta, and then the winner will play the loser of the 7 and 8 seeds, Cleveland and Brooklyn. But I want to address Brooklyn. We know what they bring to the table. Kyrie and Kd, I mean, I feel like they're pretty much by themselves. I mean, they're both superior scorers. They both can get you 40 points, 40 plus points in any given night. KD had 55, and Kyrie had 31 against Atlanta the other night. But it has to be deflating for KD to put up all those points and lose. And I think another alarming thing is that Kyrie shot the ball more than KD did. He shot 32 shots versus 28 by KD. To me, I feel like as great as Kyrie is, he doesn't get his other teammates involved in the game enough to me. And so KD had to hide in. Like I feel like they should have given him the ball more. So, but in totality, Brooklyn's problem is that they can't make any stops. They can't stop anybody. Trae Young, I mean, he did everything he wanted to do. He had 36 and 10. The other guy, DeAndre Hunter and Gallinari, each had 15 apiece. They just the Nets just can't stop anyone. And so, but my favorites in the East has got to be out of Milwaukee and Miami. Both have the makeup of winning it all. So I haven't decided who's going to win the East, but I think it's going to be out of Miami and Milwaukee.
Okay, Juice, as always, a very thought out and intelligent take, sir. You've always been a very studious young man, so I'm not surprised at that. No problem. Here's my thoughts on the Eastern Conference this year. This is probably one of the most competitive years the Eastern Conference has seen in over a decade. I mean, you go up and down the 1 through 10 teams, and each team got like 2 superstars on it, And I think you see that just in the tightness of the race in the game, 4 games separating that 8th seed and that, if I'm not mistaken, that 5th seed and that 8th seed, 4th seed and that 8th seed, it's like 4 or 5 games that's separating them. It's not a whole lot, you know. And a lot of those are close games. So they not. It used to be a point in time when anybody from the Western Conference go to the Eastern Conference, and that's almost a gimme game. They, you know, the Eastern Conference was getting blowed out no matter who they was playing. They was playing Sacramento and losing by 20. But it's not like that in the East no more. And I agree with what you said about Brooklyn. Brooklyn can't stop nobody. And they even have a hard time clearing the boards and keeping teams to one shot. You know, it's a lot of possessions in a Brooklyn Nets game. They don't turn the ball over a lot, and that works to their advantage. But KD gonna have to score 50 every night, and Kyrie cannot be the number one shot taker on the floor. That's just not winning basketball. Ask LeBron James, he know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just ask LeBron James. But as far as like the team that I think I'm gonna call them the Dallas Mavericks of the East, because I think they got the coaching, they got the system, they playing together, and ain't nobody really looking out for them because the coach is smart enough to tell them when to take a night off. This game don't matter as much. It don't matter if we lose this game. You know what I mean? It take a smart coach to get the team to buy in to, hey, we gonna rest tonight because in 3 nights we got to play so-and-so. But that's the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics got a team that it can compete at every position. And if they playing together, they can almost dominate in every position. So I say if you're looking at the Eastern Conference, the team that don't nobody want to see is them Boston Celtics. Miami look like they kind of imploding a little bit. Eric Spoelstra getting sick or whatever. He's spending time away from the team. They just had this little fight. Udonis Haslem, I was surprised to hear he even still in the league. Like, and then he back there like an 87 Cadillac, just, you know, cigarette hanging out his mouth. Hey, Jimmy, come back here, let me holler at you, young buck. You know. But Jimmy Butler is a strong personality. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the thing about being a strong personality is that it only take you so far. It's only gonna last so long before somebody say, "Man, I'm tired of hearing what you're talking about." You know what I'm saying? So with that strong personality, you got to be getting dubs too. You got to be getting them wins. You got to be bringing championships, and that's the only way people will shut up and accept it. But if you ain't bringing home the brass, people gonna get tired of it sooner or later. You know, and I just think you see a little bit of that in Miami. So I don't know if I don't know if they got the mental fortitude as a team to take it all away. The Bucks are the Bucks, man. They the kings of the East, and before anybody do anything, they got to knock the Bucks off the throne. Period.
That is true. I agree. You're gonna have to beat Milwaukee. That's just, it is what it is. You're gonna have to beat Milwaukee. Yeah, he sold that up. Giannis is the best player in the league right now. Everybody has their time.
Ooh.
At one point, it was LeBron, then Steph had his time, then they was pushing KD. It's Giannis.
That's another conversation. I love Giannis. Love him. That's another conversation.
Here's what I love about Giannis, and TB bought this out. TB bought this point out to us on assignment right now. TB, one of the co-hosts, the pole man, brought this out. Giannis is not an American-born player, so he doesn't comprehend taking a night off. Giannis is playing like a college kid every single night. You have to sit Giannis down, or he's going to give you 110% every single night. He doesn't comprehend, we're 5 games up, let me take a rest day. He doesn't comprehend that, and he's playing hard.
True. That's true.
Some of the American-born players, we've seen it all. KD, Steph, Kyrie, all of them. Hey, man, we got this play. We just going to worry about it when we get to the playoffs. Now, Giannis does that. I was on the Embiid trailer for a minute. I was rolling with Embiid because Embiid just recently started playing with Harden maybe 5-6 weeks ago. And up until that point, there was no Ben Simmons, so it was Joel Embiid out there with a bunch of has-beens. And for him to basically hold Philly in a top 2 or 3 position in the Eastern Conference, he did more with less. Giannis is returning out of his starters. So, but last Tuesday night was a very good game. Giannis dropped that 40 burger on him. I mean, Embiid had 28, 29, 30. Nice, solid game, strong game, 14, 15 points. But it was just clear that it's Giannis's time. Another discussion. I think Giannis is already better than Charles Barkley and Karl Malone. I don't care how long.
Oh, that's not even the conversation. That's not even the conversation. That's not even the conversation.
I'm not going to punish Giannis because he accomplished what Karl Malone and Charles Barkley never could do. And like Isaiah Thomas told Charles Oakley, he'll dunk on you, Anthony Mason, Patrick Ewing, Charles Smith. All y'all going to do is hit him more, and he's going to come right back down there and dunk on y'all again. Boston, I'm not so sold on Boston. I've been waiting on Boston to do this, and I've been waiting on Boston, and it's always been there. But for some reason, when it's time for them to win those playoff series, they don't get it done. It's not the first time Boston has made some noise in the East. They got to show it to them.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, speaking of Boston, I think they rely so much on the tandem of Jason Tatum and Brown. Like, it's almost like they're the same player. And, you know, I've heard analysts say, you know, you might have to get rid of one of them. But I think they're a great tandem, and I think that they just need to continue to build around those two. And but I think what's hurting them this year is that the injury to Robert Williams, because he's young, he's very athletic, you know, he provides defense and rebounding. And now they're missing that. And so
that's a great point.
So now they got to rely on the 14-year veteran and Al
Horford,
and Daniel Tice. I think that's going. If he's not back, I think that's going to hurt them. So,
I mean, it's definitely a loss. You know, the young man is talented. He played hard. He gave them a lot of good minutes. So replacing that production, you already had Horford and Tice. So you basically just losing production. They're not going to replace his production. You know, they're going to beat them and they're going to do what they do. But you're still losing that production. And I agree, that's going to hurt them in the playoffs.
I agree.
Gotcha.
I mean,
I like my own. No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, man, when you think about the Eastern Conference as a whole, you got 3 out of the 4 top names in the MVP conversation in the Eastern Conference. Right. You got Giannis, you got Embiid, you got KD. Tatum was in there for a minute. You know what I mean? You got the quote unquote rookie of the year. He may not, but everybody's saying he got a real good chance at a Cade Cunningham, Eastern Conference. Like, a lot of the top tier players in the league right now are in the Eastern Conference.
Agree.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I'm still heavy on Miami, a little bit heavy on Miami. The Heat culture is the Heat culture. Yeah, I agree with you, Big Kofi. I think it's time for you, Don. It's like, we get it. You're a tough guy. You born and raised in Miami, but bro, you're 47 years old, and you look like the old mechanic. Like,
you're a distraction at this point.
You're a distraction, yeah. We get it. Yeah. You're the veteran, and like, you tough, and like, if a brawl break out, like, you're gonna be the first one to be there. But like, you haven't scored a meaningful basket in 4 years. So yeah, at some point it's like, wow, let's get somebody younger and fresher in there. They might not necessarily have the veteran leadership, but if the star player on the team don't respect him, how much of respect in the locker room does he really have?
Does he really have?
Tell you something about Jimmy. Jimmy, a country boy, man. That's Tomball, Texas, man. That's right outside H-Town, man. You ain't finna just handle them us type of boys like that. I'm gonna say us type of boys. We're from that neck of woods. You ain't finna just handle us like that. We may be aloof and we may look like this and that, but sugar look like salt if you ain't careful. So with that being said, yeah, we get all that, Udonis, and Miami 305 and all that, but you ain't gonna handle Jimmy like that. I like Miami as a squad. The Nets, yeah, they in trouble. They in trouble. Ben Simmons, he's a wash this year. I was talking to Big Kofi earlier this year. I was saying if the Mavericks maybe thought about getting like they made the best decision possible, stay as far away from him until he get whatever he got going on with his mental issues and
He's
all that.
He's a head case, man.
Yeah, it may be true. He may be playing him, but it may be true.
Ben Simmons is more injured than anybody wants to admit. They've invested so much money. They've invested so much money in him. At this point, they don't want to admit that it's a failed, that it's failed. But when I think of Ben Simmons, he gonna have one of those Sean Livingston type career arcs. If he even continues to play basketball, if he can get healthy and actually get back on the court, he's just gonna be another Sean Livingston.
Man, I hope not, because Sean Livingston, before he had that knee injury, that boy was
tough. He was still a very good player after the knee injuries.
Yeah.
But he was defensively disciplined. He showed up every day. He was gonna give you 10 and 10, and maybe even 5 assists.
Yeah. And this was coming off the bench for the Warriors. In his prime, he was
before the knee injuries,
he was Grant Hill, Sean Marion, and Penny Hardaway all wrapped up in one.
And Ben Simmons Ben Simmons is a talented player.
Yes.
He really is. I don't know what was going on in Philly, but they messed up quite a bit of talent.
It's such a head scratcher, man. Like I don't understand. So I know y'all seen clips of him like just playing pickup and him shooting jump shots like it's nothing. But then when he gets in an NBA game, he doesn't even take a shot. I don't get that. I don't understand that.
Well, I think I can't speak on why he's not shooting the jumpers in the game, but just an observation on the Ben Simmons situation. Just in general. He was supposed to be the next LeBron James coming out of LSU. Only played, 10 games at LSU, maybe? But the label was he is the next LeBron James. He's 16, he can do everything, And they gave him this label based off 10 games in college ball, okay? So people drafted him with the expectations that it's going to be Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. We got the new Penny and Shaq. In reality,
and don't forget Markelle Fultz.
In reality, Ben Simmons is a 6'10" Rajon Rondo.
In reality.
Now,
yes.
Give him that label coming off college. The expectations aren't as much, and you draft accordingly. You see what I'm saying? You don't. Okay, he's a Rajon Rondo. So with Embiid in the post, we need more spacing. You see what I'm saying? Or we're gonna have to let him play the natural point forward, and we're gonna have a bunch of shooters. It was spacing. The whole thing with Philly was spacing. Ben Simmons clogged up the lane, which forced Embiid to shoot a bunch of 3-pointers. And Embiid is the best. He's a throwback. I think if you throw Embiid, Embiid's one of the true last big men that you can throw the balls in the post. Like, he doesn't have to float out the 3-point line. You can throw Embiid in the post 20 times a game, Embiid gonna get you 30 points. By hook or by crook. He's the last of that. Joker, not so much. Embiid has a true back to the basket post game. So with that being said,
he's a true 5. Yeah,
he's a true 5
and a dominant 5. Not just out. Yeah, he's a dominant 5.
So the styles didn't match. I think they were just kind of like the co-workers that, hey, you work with each other, you do just enough to get the job done, but you ain't going to hang out and drink no drinks with them. I'll see you Monday, bro. I think it was that kind of relationship. They weren't necessarily boys, but hey,
I agree.
Done. So
I agree.
And then at the end of last year, Embiid said what he said, and that was that. That was that. Y'all think what's a surprise team out there, man, in the East that nobody really just like, hey, man, if they get the right couple of bounces, they can send somebody packing.
Man, you know that Atlanta team, they're a fun team to watch, man. Like Trae Young, I mean, I don't hear the media talk about him a lot, but you just watch him. It just seems like the game is so easy to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a swagger to him, and he's not afraid. He's not afraid of anybody. He'll launch threes from like Steph does sometimes when he gets hot, and on top of that, he's got snipers around him, and so I mean I like watching them play, man. But
they're a fun team to play.
They're kind of like
watch.
Brooklyn. They can't really stop anybody either. So
I was gonna say the same thing. and Trae Young,
yeah.
Even though he plays hard, he's a liability on the defensive end. He's very undersized. Not that he's short per se, but he's so featherweight, you know. And he out there playing with grown men, so he getting lost on picks. He can't get around. He can't get through. You know, he get posted up, and yeah, they doing bad on the defensive end.
They gotta fix that, man.
And that's what's holding Atlanta back. They got great talent. They can score the ball, but they can't stop nobody from scoring.
Gotcha. So if it all went down today, if it all just went down today, man, who you got coming out the East, Big Kobe?
Man, coming out the East, I'm gonna have to go and give it to Milwaukee, man. Okay. Ain't nobody really showed that they got what it takes to take Milwaukee out in the 7-game series.
Okay. What about the Juice, man?
You know, man, I might have to jump on the bandwagon. I'm gonna say Milwaukee as well because Giannis is only ascending. He's getting better. He's got now. You can't form a box on defense and try to force him out of lane. Now he's hitting perimeter shots. They're a deep team still. And they're even more potent when Chris Middleton is on his game. I mean, he's shooting 44% on field goals, 37% from three. I feel like when he's hot, they're even more unstoppable. So I'm going with Milwaukee as well to win.
Not only that, they have a point guard who's playing exceptionally well.
Yeah. I agree.
Who fits in the system very well. Come on, help me out.
Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. I didn't want to get it wrong. Yeah, Drew Holiday. Like he finally looks like he fits. Now everybody knows Drew Holiday has talent. Right. But everywhere he went, it just seemed like it didn't fit. He fits in on this team. And he has a role on the defensive end. And he's appreciated, and you can tell by the way he's playing. So yeah, man, I have to say that's a difference maker. Yeah, the point guard play that they getting out of Drew Holiday is huge.
I also want to say I think the X factor is Bobby Portis because I mean he's a big that can do a lot of things. He brings energy and toughness. I mean you can put him down there in the low post, and he's also got a mid-range game. Yep. And then on top of that, Brook Lopez. He's back from injury. He had 28, 7, and 3 blocks against the Bulls yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 7 games is a long time, man.
7 games is a long dusty time.
That's a long time, man. That's a whole bunch of Giannis, man.
That's a whole bunch of Giannis, and it's not like you know you're coming off of 3 games and 4 nights, and you see Milwaukee. It's like you're gonna have to make some adjustments. Like you're gonna see Milwaukee, and you're gonna see Milwaukee, and you're gonna see Milwaukee, and vice versa. I think if anybody has a puncher's chance, I would go Philly and Miami, just because Miami's deep. Here's the deal: Miami's deep. They don't allow necessarily 1 player or 2 players. They don't have it necessarily a dynamic duo or a big 3, but what they do have is they have 7 or 8 people that can hit you for 12 to 15. They have balance, and they're going to play defense. Now, can they get the chemistry together, and can Duncan Robinson and Hero hit those outside shots? Can Kyle Lowry be that veteran that they need, or is Jimmy going to blow up again and all? Miami could win the championship, or they could get swept in the first round.
In the first round, exactly. It could go either way.
Philly
could get swept in the first round.
Could get swept in the first round. Philly
we
has
know
a chance.
James Harden track record.
We know James
Exactly.
Harden track record. I'm gonna give Philly a puncher's chance just because they do. I'm not gonna say that Giannis neutralizer, but I think Embiid, if he catch Giannis on his backside, he can put him in some foul trouble. And that's a whole different series.
That's a whole different game. Yep.
That's a whole different series. Kd and Kyrie, they got problems. I don't think it's personally going to work until they get Steve Nash out of there, Mike D'Antoni. I don't think it's going to work until they get them up out of there. I don't think Steve Nash should have had the job anyways. How you going to come straight off the beach from playing soccer and get the keys to a Lamborghini? You shouldn't have had that job in the first place.
In the first place, yeah.
So get him up out of there. It's like in Paul Silas, he came, taught Luka everything he knew, and they sent him to the Rockets after rebuilding. And they gave Steve Nash a brand new shiny car, like go win the championships. Luke Walton was a good coach when he was coaching the Warriors, and then they sent him to Sacramento, and he didn't last.
Exactly. We ain't seen him since. Exactly.
Yeah, they paid him not to come back to work, so we know how that go. But I would give Kyle. I'll give him a puncher's chance. Look, I mean, any one of them can get you 40. So, and KD, he ain't no slouch, so they got a puncher's chance too, but. It's strongly favoring Milwaukee. They're the most balanced team. And you're going to have to come on with it with Giannis. He ain't taking no days off.
Watch out for them Boston Celtics. I'm telling you. I
see Boston. I want to believe in Boston, but Boston, they're going to have to show. This might be the year they show. So.
I ain't saying I believe in them. I'm just saying they got the pieces. If they play together, it's tough.
Right.
Well, Robert Williams is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So if somehow he can come back healthy, I would agree.
Second round, yeah.
Possibly. Well, we're gonna see. The playoffs do start in a couple of weeks. I think April 16th is the tip off for the NBA playoffs, so it's gonna be running all day.
Yep. April 12th, the play-in tournament start. So in a few days we're gonna be in it.
We're gonna be in that thing. But at any rate, thank y'all for joining. Like I said, that's every Friday night, 8 p.m. Anchor FM, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Hit us up on that Spotify, the Facebook page, the IG, that link tree, all that. Like, subscribe, and share. Smash that YouTube button. Show your boy some love. Doc, Juice Man, Kofi, Just Noise. Again, special shout out to CJ Rush. That's TVRP TVLKS. That's TVRP TVLKS. Hit that man up. He's got a whole YouTube network going on. We'd like to see brothers doing big things. We're going to jump on up out of here, man. It's been a blast. Big Kofi, you might have to run it back with us next time, man. We're going to jump on that West a little bit, man. Got Luka Magic boys, man.
Just let me know. I'm ready when you're ready, baby.
Already. For Doc, the Juice Man, Big Kofi, we're going to get on up out of here. Y'all be easy. Just know us.